Hi you guys, I hope you're well. As you might have seen, I recently reached 1,000 hours of Spanish input. I wanted to do a video of 10 things I wish I knew at 0 hours. Let's just get into it. Empezamos fuerte. We are starting off strong. Number 1, do not trust your emotions. You only remember one thing from this video. I need this to be what you remember. I've talked in depth about this, especially in my motivation video and in some of my update videos. You cannot trust your emotions. I'm not going to go too deep into this. You just need to remember this. Remember this, keep this at the front of your mind, and your journey is going to go much more smoothly. One thing I learned is a mental battle doesn't end. You guys might remember in my 800-hour update video, I shared about the burnout I was going through. I was in the trenches, and literally I had the nerve at 800 hours to be like, am I even learning anything? Is this even working? It's just a huge part of this learning method to face this mental battle because you're not seeing results in the same way as if maybe you're studying vocab words and you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing great with these vocab words. And so I just need you to know that. And another thing that is so important that I really wanted to add in here is you will always, always, always find information online that you want to find. What do I mean here? Say you are having a bad day, you're in a slump, you're like, I don't know if this method works, doing terrible, I'm in the trenches. And you go online, you go on Reddit and you search up, you're gonna find people who are also in a slump, wondering if the method works, and now you're thinking about giving up. Very careful on your bad days and your bad weeks and when you're struggling mentally to think, is the method working? I don't really know. I'm feeling down. I feel like my comprehension isn't well. Just be careful what you're reading. Be careful on what you're consuming. Not allow your emotions to make you decide to give up on the method. These slumps are inevitable and they're a part of the growing process. You go from beginner to intermediate. It is going to be much harder and you're going to feel like you don't understand anything. But guess what? Your brain adjusts and then you are now at the intermediate level. Same thing happens when you go to advanced. Same thing happens when you go to native content. And so it's just a part of the process. And instead of feeling down, you can just think, no, this is a part of me actually growing and expanding my knowledge and getting better at Spanish. I also want to share a quick perspective with you. I was thinking about this and I think it will help you if you are in one of those seasons where you feel like it's a mental battle, you feel like you're not understanding it. Maybe you're transitioning from beginner to intermediate or something like that. I did speedrun this method. So I did 5 hours a day. And I think I was privileged in the fact that I was able to get over these kind of mental battles a little bit faster. Yes, I absolutely did face them. I shared with you guys in my 800-hour update, my burnout and just how crazy I was feeling. If you think about it, the average person, let's say they do 1 hour of input a day. And let's say that these mental battles occur, I'm going to make a number up. Let's say 50 hours of input is where this adjustment period is and where you're going to be struggling for 50 hours. For me, I would get over that in 10 days. For someone who is doing 1 hour a day, they would be struggling and in that mental battle for over a month, every single day. So when you're reading things online and you're reading about people's experiences, just take in mind that maybe they are in a really hard season, a mental battle season, and they have come online to vent it out. And same goes for you. If you are going through a hard season, you have to know that the only thing that's going to really get you out of it is more input. Maybe increase your input for that season or even just 15 minutes more. Just simply be aware that it's really not about, oh, I've been struggling for 5 days now. Well, if you're doing 15 minutes every day, you're going to be struggling for a while. It's all about more input. That is kind of the equation. So I hope that made sense and I hope that helped. Talked forever and we are only on number 2. But number 2, very simple. It's the method and not you. Please let that sink in. I could go back. I would seriously get so many hours back of stressing out about every little thing of, oh, but should I do this? Or if I watch this content and not this content, if I listen to this accent and not this accent, and then the method just works. It's just like a science. Just keep getting more input. Try not to stress out so much. It's just the method. If you see that it worked for someone else, it can absolutely work for you. There are very little differences and reasons why it wouldn't work for you if it worked for someone else. Next point, enjoying the content is more important than you think. Now, I know in the beginner stages, you kind of just have to watch, especially super beginner, you just have to watch them. Whether you really enjoy it or not, you just kind of have to watch it. But I think as I started to grow in maybe beginner and intermediate level, I stressed a lot about trying to find content that I could focus on, but I wasn't enjoying it, so then I wasn't focusing on it, and it brought a lot of stress in my life. And I just think if you have to make an adjustment and you need to watch something that's a little bit harder, but you'll enjoy it more, just do it. Just do it. Next point of what I would tell myself at 0 hours is totally worth it to wait till 1,000 hours to start speaking. Now, I know everyone's situation is different, and so don't take this the wrong way. If you need to start speaking earlier, that's your thing. But for me personally, I wish that I just knew from the beginning, wait till 1,000 hours. Everything is going to be fine. It's going to work out better than you ever even thought it could. And honestly, just sit back and relax during this time before you're speaking. Don't worry about anything. Just get your input in and focus on that. And when it's time to speak, you'll focus on speaking. It was totally worth it for me. I think in terms of the ease of me starting to speak and everything, it kind of felt magical. I'm not going to lie. Up next, I wrote this in all caps. Enjoy each season of your learning journey. I seriously mean this with my entire heart. If you are watching me and you have 15 hours of input, please, please, please do not be watching me and thinking, oh, I just need to be at 1,000 hours and I'm just so far from that. And no, seriously, when I look back, I can see every season, whether it be 50 hours, 250 hours, 300 hours, 600 hours, I can see little nuggets of goodness and exciting things that took place during that time. And so don't ruin your journey by just thinking about how far you have to go and how until you're there, it's not going to be good. No, there are things that happen along the way that are so awesome and so beautiful. And you'll just notice the more and more you can understand. And there's just so many wins sprinkled throughout the entire journey. So do not get caught up in the trap of just thinking, oh, I'm just not there yet. Just enjoy. Honestly, I have such fond memories now when I think back of me at some of these lower hours, and I'm so grateful that I have video record of it because I can just see my excitement in all those videos, and I'm just really happy that I enjoyed every part of the process. Next up is you can fit more content in than you think, and it's worth it. Now, please, I need to have a little disclaimer here because, to be honest, I always feel a little bit sensitive talking about this topic because I did speedrun it, and I never want anyone to think that I'm saying, oh, you don't do 5 hours a day, and so you're like bad. In fact, I'll have a video coming soon about my updated thoughts regarding speedrunning. I'm saying you can do more input than you think and it's worth it. I am not saying add 3 hours more to what you're already doing. I'm talking you add 5 more minutes to your daily input goal because you're very likely to meet your input goal. I just think it's totally worth it because it all adds up. For example, 5 minutes a day is 30 hours a year. You could be a whole month ahead of where you would be. This is actually exactly how I ended up getting all the way up to 5 hours a day is I would just kind of add 5 minutes to my daily goal. And then after a while, I would like add another 5 minutes because it's really likely that you're going to meet your daily goal kind of without really thinking about it. Next thing that I wish I could tell myself at 0 hours, be in tune with yourself and take a break when you need it. Back to those extra 5 minutes that you're going to add to your daily goal. It can definitely act as a cushion for those times when you do need a day off. To be totally honest with you guys, I waited way too long to take a day off. Of course, I had days where I didn't meet my daily goal, but that is not the same as taking a day off. Last month, I chose to take a Saturday completely off of Spanish. I watched some of my favorite YouTubers that I had left for 6 months that I used to watch all the time. I got caught up on some of their videos. I listened to music in English, all these things that I had kind of left to the side in order to prioritize my learning journey. I just spent the day resting, relaxing, and enjoying these things, and it was so good, honestly. On top of that, I came back the next day ready to tackle my Spanish input and feeling recharged. I have to be careful because I feel like it kind of snowballed a little bit. I ended up taking way more days off after that. Not in a row, but like definitely there were some days where like, yeah, I want to take another day off. Be careful, but definitely be in tune. Don't do what I did. Take a day off when you need it. Take a week off, whatever you need. Just be more in tune with your mental health and do what you need to do. Next thing I wish I could tell myself at 0 hours is spend way more time envisioning the end goal, where you're headed, and the reason why you're doing what you're doing. In between these mountaintop moments that are sprinkled throughout your entire Spanish learning journey are a lot more of these valley, mundane days where you're just getting your Spanish in another day. And truly, every little minute, every second that you listen to Spanish is working towards the end goal. So I wish I would just have taken more time to really envision and remember, this is why I'm doing this right now. And it's not just like, oh, yeah, another day and some more Spanish, but like being like, no, this is working towards a goal that I have. Okay, we've got 2 more. Next up is I would tell myself to find the correct outlet to obsess about my Spanish learning journey. As you guys know, and maybe you've experienced, this is something that is so exciting. And I feel like in the beginning and throughout my journey, I was so obsessed and it was like all I would ever talk about. If I didn't see my family for a week, but then I went to see them again, do you have anything else to share with them other than your Spanish? And although, yeah, like I love to update the people in my life about what I'm excited about, I think, maybe a little bit less would have been better. And for me, I'm really glad that I have this channel. You guys, if you see all my updates, you know how much I'm like gushing and passionate about the journey, and I'm able to share it all with you guys. Also, the Reddit page is so good for this, but I think it's important to just be aware of like, how much you're sharing, how often you're sharing about it. I live alone. Well, sorry, I don't live alone, but I imagine if you have a spouse that isn't learning Spanish, they might just like want you to shut up a little bit, Yeah. The last thing that I wish I could go and tell myself at 0 hours of Spanish input is, this is the best decision that you have ever made. I am today at 1,000 hours of input is a direct result of the choices that I made every day for me. Only I could make these choices, and they really weren't for anyone else but for me. I cannot tell you how amazing it feels, and I want to encourage you, no matter how small your daily goal is, the simple fact of showing up every day for yourself is very special, and your future self will be so glad that you did. And that is all that I have for today's video. Thank you guys so much for simply being on this journey with me, for watching me all this time, or even if you're brand new, thanks for being here. I am just really happy. I'm loving where I'm at. I'm having so much fun, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. I plan to do a lot more speaking videos, maybe some Spanglish vlogs. 2 more months until Mexico. I will be grinding out my Spanish until then, and I can't wait to bring you guys along with me on that trip. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!